are we talking about?
Higher education, for example?
The system is quite similar. So we've got primary education, kindergarten to year 6. And then they've got secondary education from year 7 to year 10. Then they've got senior education from year 10 to year 11, senior secondary education till year 12. And then you can start studying a pre-grade, an undergraduate study, or the postgraduate study, or doing any kind of courses. They don't call them here programs, they call them courses.
That's interesting.
So dealing with the language, there's some different ways to name things in a different way. So instead of saying exams or tests, they used to say assessments. But basically, the education is quite similar. But inside the system of education, there are different differences. So I would believe all of our guests are probably undergraduate students, right? So I would believe as well that they are ready to study the master or something like that. So in terms of doing a postgraduate study, there are 2 possibilities here. You can do a master based on research, in which you just register to your master, you've got another supervisor, and then you just work 2 years developing your thesis, your proposal. No classes at all, but just working on that. And then you got your master based on subjects, in which you just study some subjects and then you go graduate from your master. Or you can combine both. You can start doing your master based on subjects and develop something called minor thesis, in which you just do it in a year.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I got a question from a student, Fabian Cuadros. Fabian, would you like to ask that question yourself?
I cannot see that.
Are there any grants for students who want a master's degree?
Well, there are plenty of opportunities, not only here, but they're back in Colombia. ISETEX is having a lot of offers. So what we have to go into the webpage of ISETEX and start analyzing all of those offers. And here with something called Pasaporte a la Ciencia, which is the grant actually, in which I can 50% of it, depending if I just fulfill some requirements. So it is a good chance. Conciencias as well. So you can apply through Conciencia, so you're going to save a lot of money. But every single university here in Australia, they've got some grants and some discounts. So the best thing is try to look for what sort of university you would like to apply, what sort of program, and get in contact with international student offices. They will let you know a lot of it. And if you're interested in contacting La Trobe University, something quite interesting and very nice is like the coordinator of admissions at La Trobe University is from Colombia. Basically, she's from Bucaramanga.
That's great.
So it's absolutely great.
All right, so there is a Santanderiana there.
She's been working here for the last 10 years.
Okay. So we have more opportunities, perhaps.
Yes, there are plenty of opportunities, but we'll have to think about the situation previous the pandemic situation and the post-pandemic situation. So actually, I do not know what will be the panorama in the future. But as far as I know, we've got discounts over 25% of the total of the fees that we got to pay. And the university offers some other extra discounts. And if you want to do your PhD studies here, the university is going to pay you for studying this if you are admitted, so you don't have to pay for your PhD studies.
I understand. Thanks a lot. I wonder if students have more questions regarding grants, scholarships to study there. Fabian, I have already activated your microphone from my panel here. So
I thought it was my problem.
No, that's all right.
No, yeah, well, actually, I've seen through well, the websites. I'm very interested into it. But the thing is that I study social communication or communications and journalism. But the most opportunities that you guys have is for engineering students. So are there any special like I don't know, scholarships, grants for social studies students?
Are you asking for the opportunities here in Australia or back in Colombia?
No, in Australia.
That's what I'm telling you, Fabian, is like what you can get here is discounts for master programs. So you can get a discount for being an international student. You can get some discounts for getting the best results in the
But I mean,
term.
sorry to interrupt. Aren't there like 100% scholarship only discounts?
Well, that's a very good question, by the way. In which you can get the program which you can get 100% scholarship, not a grant, but a scholarship. It's on PhD studies, but not on master programs. So if you're planning to do your PhD, you can apply for that, definitely. So you should get your supervisor and apply for the university, and then finger crossed that you will be admitted to the program. But for master programs, they are not quite common. So most of us, we are forced to pay.
All right.
So the best thing, and my advice would be this one, the best thing you can do, because I'm also from humanities, I'm doing here my master program TESOL, which is one of the subjects in education, is that you can apply for Conciencias, and then based on Conciencias, you can get your money. You don't have to return your money back from Conciencias.
Mm-hmm.
So you can save a lot of money, and there are a lot of scholarship in Colombia that we are not certainly using because of the fact of the language. So go for it. Go for Conciencias if you fulfill the requirements, age, language, and then you've got the university. Do not think it twice. Just walk it.
Right. Well, one question, another one that it's regarding to this. So I'm an undergraduate student. I'm about to get graduated almost in a year. But I want to go straight to get my master's degree. Can I do that there or do I need any experience working, or I cannot be just graduated and get to study or anything like that?
You can go through it straight away.
All
Sorry
right.
to interrupt you, but what are you studying?
Journalism and communications.
Where? At UPB? Where?
Yes, at UPB.
So, and you're definitely going to an English-spoken country or any other country?
Yes, an English-speaking country.
Okay. I'm just going to tell you this. I know we're talking about Australia, but there are any other opportunities around the world. So just to let you know, the university is having very good relationships with DAAD, the German institution that represents scholarships in the country. So you can go to the international office there at the university, get in contact with them, and remember, education in Germany is free, even for international students. So what you need to get is some money to pay your expenses there in Germany. So you can do your program in English, and then you can learn German. And there's a high probability just to go there as well.
All right.
So do not close your mind just to English-spoken countries, but open it to other possibilities.
Oh yeah. Actually, I speak Italian as well, and I am very interested into learning Portuguese and French. Just that I'm very good right now, at English, and I am almost a C1. So that's why I was asking you. So you were talking about Conciencia. So I can get for any country, like any grant or any scholarship for any country.
The thing with Conciencias is a text called Futuro is that you have to see what they are offering right now, because every single year they modify their references or the references for what they want to offer. So you go to the web page, you get in contact with one of the guys and ask them what they are definitely offering right now. So you can get to know what are the requirements, what is the amount of money they cover, what sort of universities. You cannot apply to any university. They ought to be into the ranking, Shanghai ranking. So if they're not in that ranking, so you cannot apply to it. But the thing is that, yeah, you should go to those web pages and check what they are doing right now. Because when I applied to Pasaporte de las Ciencias in 2018, is quite different to what they're offering Pasaporte de la Ciencia right now. So that's what I'm telling you. Just go straight to it. And go to the International Students Office there at UPV University and get in contact with them, because we've got some partnerships as well. And based on those partnerships, you can get discounts, very good, meaningful discount, and then you can go through it. And another chance you can just look for is like education in Canada is cheaper than over here. So many international students are just aiming.
How about Nordic countries?
Sorry?
Because how about Nordic countries? I mean, I've heard that education is also free. So is it free like for all students?
No idea, but I can ask. One of my best friends lives there in Norway, so we can ask her. I will let you know. You just give the contact to Professor Sheila. Will send you the answer. But in those countries that I know, we've got free education and we've got the partnership, university partnership is going to be Germany. So, and education there is amazing.
Okay,
I've got the chance to live there in Germany, so that's what I'm telling you. That.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Fabian. So now I have a question from Fabiana Ortiz. But Fabiana, I would love to hear from you and your voice and make you like part of this event. So if possible, could you ask Professor Martinez the question yourself? Fabiana? Fabiana. Oh, because she was writing to me via chat, and well, she had a question for you, but I don't know. She does not have a microphone. All right, so let me see. I have her question. She wanted to know about teaching in Australia. So what can you tell us about your experience?
Is Fabiana a teacher?
Fabiana, are you a teacher?
An English teacher, something like that?
I have to read the chat. No, a student. Yeah.
But a student to teach.
Oh,
He's a teacher.
So let's do something. Fabiana, if possible, send me the full answer. She studied lengua castellana e inglés. Okay, now I understand. So she's becoming a teacher. Yeah, she's one of Monica's students, right? So Monica Pavon is your professor, right? Okay, now I understand. So she would like to know about teaching in Australia.
So Monica's students aren't studying in an education program.
Yeah, at Universidad Cooperativa de Colombia. Exactly.
Very good.
Licenciatura castellana e inglés. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Good news, bad news. Not really, although not good news. I've got the opportunity to teach here. I got the opportunity to teach Spanish in the language center. There's plenty of them. So inside every single university, they've got colleges. So colleges are part of the program that are teaching languages. So you can send them the CV, and depending on what they need, so they will probably call you. Definitely, they are going to ask you about your experience. They're going to interview you. You have to show them your IELTS results, and then you can apply for that. So you can certainly teach English here. I was teaching English, but I was also teaching Spanish. So there's a lot of opportunities. There are too many people coming to this country to study English and Spanish and Italian and French and many other languages, because this community is quite diverse. But yeah, what I'm saying is this: like, you just got your CV well structured, a cover letter, And then you send them to different language centers and colleges, and then you just wait for a call. There's full-time positions, and there's emergency teachers. An emergency teacher is when someone is getting sick or tired or got any issue, they just call you. But there's part of the staff, so you are working every day, different hours and different moments with different students, but you're always having students. Most of the students that are coming here to study English are from basically China, and the second biggest communities are Latin communities. I mean, Colombians, people from Argentina, things like that, and people from Middle East and Southeast. I don't know if you just answer your question. Let me know, Fabiana, please.
Thank you very much. So while students get to like feel more familiar with this activity, this talk, like identify like potential topic of interest, I would like to know about Nelsie, Marta, and Monica Pavon, what other questions you may have for Professor Juan Diego Martinez.
Well, if I may, jump, Professor Juan Diego, you mentioned you're talking about pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So I'm sorry, I apologize already for the background noise. So what has the impact of this pandemic of COVID-19 really being in Australia in the higher education context, for example?
I would say it's the same old, same old. I mean, it has been affecting the education in a very severe way, even though we've got lots of resources here in this country. Universities got shut. So when you're at uni, pre-pandemic situation, when I was at uni, there's the students' unions, and the students' union, there are around like 400 different groups. So we're always having cinema for free, pizza for free. You got like the Independence Day of Pakistan, so there was food and people dancing. The Independence Day of China, so we got people selling stuff and showing dragons. There were plenty of activities all around the university, and then every single day. The library, which was probably my favorite place, it's open 24/7. And at the library, you can get some places to sleep, some places to study, some places to work with other people. Every single floor got different equipment that meant for you to learn. There was free breakfast on Wednesdays and things like that. So it was an amazing place and plenty of opportunities to interact and work with other people. So you could join volunteering, not only with the university, but with the city. Just to give you an idea about this, Melbourne city is gigantic, is humongous. From one side of the city to the other side, driving at 100 kilometers per hour, it could take you around 6 hours. So the city is divided into sub-cities. Yes, and those sub-cities into suburbs, and the suburbs into neighborhoods. So as we got different cities that different like sub-mayors, and every single sub-mayor's got money to offer volunteering programs. So you can volunteer for museums, for libraries, for the zoo. Well, there are plenty of volunteer opportunities. And based on your opportunities doing voluntary work, you can get some job depending on your interests. So I was volunteering for international student services, and I ended up teaching English for the university as well. So that was pre-pandemic situation. Post-pandemic situation happened the same that is happening all around the world. The university is working virtually, so many people got fired. Contracts in this country are not the same probably as in Colombia, but Colombia is changing right now, so we are not having full-time employees, but we got something called casual contracts. So if you're casual, the university can fire you whenever they wanted. So they fire you, and then you can get your job back whenever it's getting this better. But we don't know when it's going to get better because we are on a quarantine right now. And this last quarantine is lasting for 6 weeks. So people are not working. The unique people who are working right now are people from hospitals, supermarkets, and pharmacies. The rest is closed. Everything is closed. And people are working based online. So this post-pandemic situation is a dark panorama. We don't know what's going to happen. But let's say that this country, in some other countries that are having enough resources, the way of recovering is much easier than in our Colombian situation. So I would believe that after this pandemic, they are going to restructure their programs in order to offer students better opportunities, better resources. Right now, they're offering scholarships for the next year for PhD students and for other students, and they are reducing the fees of the programs. But what is going to happen after this pandemic situation is yet to be seen.
Okay.
All right.
That's great. That's great. In terms of what you can do in terms of interculturality, because we understand that there are plenty of opportunities to interact with people from all around the world, as far as I understood, right?
You're correct.
Oh, that's great. Okay, and talking about that, I have a question regarding inclusion. Australia is undoubtedly a multicultural country, and many cultures merge. Many ways of thinking merge. I would love to know about inclusion. La Trobe University is huge, so I bet they get students from different corners around the globe. What kind of processes, programs, activities are offered in order to foster inclusion?
Look, this is quite nice and beautiful. So they've got something called the Students' Union here. So the Students' Union, even though it is not part of the university supports part of that work. So there's a community of students that are managing everything, organizing everything, so you could participate. So I was telling you before, we've got the independent days of Colombia and every single country. So you just join the group, you just suggest that you want to run any activity. They support you with some money, with some activities and resources, and voila, so you can have whatever you want to. So over here, I enjoyed everything. I mean, I met people from all around the world. I have tried every single kind of food prepared by natives. And besides that, is that as you were talking about inclusion, it's not only about meeting people from other cultures, but meeting people for different perspectives of lives. Something very sweet about this country is that they don't really care the way you look, or the way you identify yourself. If you've got too many tattoos, it is the same. Nobody's going to judge you around. If you're gay, nobody's going to judge you. Or if you are non-binary, so nobody's going to judge you. Everybody's respecting that. So here inside the university, we've got a chapel and a mosque. And people are not fighting. People are not just caring about anything. They're just sharing. So something quite beautiful about this is the way they work as a community. They work too much on that. Creating communities, not against communities, but community to grow the community. So this option of inclusion, as you called it before, Sheila, is like peeling an onion. There are many layers in which you can start thinking about it, working with a community, working with voluntary work, working with academic groups, working at the Students' Union, working with, so there are plenty of possibilities. But the idea of this city mainly is working all together, not to judge, but to live together in harmony. And as far as I know, they managed to do it pretty well.
That's awesome. And that's the first step every university should take in order to like become much more aware of accepting differences, understanding differences. Because I think Colombian universities, and that is a very respectful opinion, have done not much. So it's not just about a class, a course. It has to be experienced. It has to be lived. It has to be taught. And the more like inclusion expressions, the better, because that's the way students understand the importance of becoming better people, becoming better citizens. And that's the reason why I think there is a lot of stuff to learn from countries such as Australia. Definitely.
Well, there's something else. It's part of the individual first, and then you learned in community. So if well, I'm not really that religious, but I do believe in God, but I do respect my friends who go to the mosque. So they've got their private bathroom, they go washing their hands, and they do fasting. I don't do any fasting at all. I love eating, but they do fasting. And they got different beliefs and different ways of behaving. But I do respect them. And then I respect them in the space and the things like that. But it's me as an individual. It was not the university who taught me that. So you see, but as well, there would be the idea of respecting community. So here at the university, we got drag queen shows, and that was really nice just having them around. Yes. And nobody's going to judge you. Yes. Something that women love here, and I do really like that as well, is that we cannot say something to women for the way they're dressing, because that is a crime. So you see, so if you've got a problem with that, you just go your phone, you just deal 000, call them, police is coming right away, and they're going to do it, and they're going to just find you. So people are not doing that. So women can wear whatever they want to and feel free and relaxed. Men can do that as well. So if I respect the other one, it's because I'm respecting myself. And if I'm respecting myself, it's because I can respect the rest of the people.
That's awesome.
It is indeed. Yeah. I love it.
I dream of living in a place like that, like bias free.
We can have it. We can have it, but sometimes
I know, but the thing is that
selfish.
There are so many traditional roots and traditional ways of thinking which do not let us become much more open-minded. But I'm hopeful about what new generations can do about it.
This sounds like a great place, though, for young people to learn while respecting differences. So
definitely.
Yes. Oh, Professor Juan Diego, and talking about these, so has this same thing we're talking about, like, posed a challenge for Colombians when it comes to adapting to a new culture? Is this a challenge, or are there any challenges, if any, other for Colombians when they arrived in Australia for the first time?
Well, I would believe not that much. You've got to do, once you're in Rome, you have to do as Romans do. So challenges, no, you have to get on a process of adaptation. Weather is one of those. So you've got adapted to the cold weather or the hot weather, depending on where you're in Australia. To the south. So to the south is very cold. Up to the north of the country is very hot, hotter than Bucaramanga, and drier. So you get adapted to the weather. You've got to get adapted to the taste of food. I definitely miss eating pineapple, mainly from Bucaramanga. I love it. Pineapple
juice. I remember.
They do not taste the same here. So fruits are very, very expensive, very, very expensive. But at the same time, you can try food from any place in the world. You've got adapted to some rules, which is really amazing for me. You know, when you go to a traffic light in this country, people stop immediately. They do not jump on the way. So you have to respect the traffic light. But also drivers respect the zebra. So if you're walking the zebra, you can just walk it freely, very relaxed, because every single car ought to stop, and there are different speed limits. So people are respecting the speed limits, and it's because everything is systematized. So if you're driving faster than that, the car ought to be on your name, and then if you're not respecting the rule, you're gonna get a fine. Then if you're not paying the fine, the police is going to arrest you. But then people know that, so people are not just breaking the law, so they are behaving well. So what we've got to do is to get used to the norms, to the rules. I love riding my bicycle, and here in this city, they just, when you get a bicycle, they just give you a manual saying, this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do, this is what you have to wear, and people are just behaving, which is really nice. Obviously, in every single country and in every single city in the world, there are thieves. There are guys who are not really that nice. It happens all around the world. But if you start comparing, I don't know, Medellin city with this city, this is extremely safe, extremely safe. You're not feeling aware of having your mobile phone on the streets because nobody cares about that. You can get it easily, and it's cheaper than in Colombia. So this is a very safe city, and they offer you lots of opportunities. And meanwhile, you're just getting involved with the context, you will just get new chances of doing new things. Friends you are making here can share you with other friends, and other friends are offering you opportunities. So just to give you an idea, some Colombian friends came like 2 months ago to study here at Melbourne University, and he had a friend that was just doing window cleaning. They paid pretty well for that. And then while he was doing window cleaning, he met another Colombian who was going back to Colombia. So he offered him the job. Now he's working doing finances. So there's plenty of chances here. So the idea is not facing challenges, but adapting to the context.
Okay, thanks a lot. We have a question. Gabriela Garcia wants to know about, Gabriela, your turn.
Hello, good afternoon. Hi, everyone. I'm Gabriela, and I'm a student of English teaching program at the UCC, and I want to ask something. Which programs can we enjoy or activities in the program?
What do you mean?
The activities that we can enjoy in the program.
So, let's say in a master course or master program?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was just telling Chile some minutes ago that I don't call it here programs, they call it courses. And those who are studying English and they know something called interlocutors, is the language changes and modifies from context to context. And even though this is an English-spoken country, they got some changes, so they call it course. At the course, you can just do your subjects, but that's what they offer you, the subjects in the course. The university offers you a lot of other things, so it's a full package. I was telling you before, I can join the student union, so I can do all those things the student union are doing, but we also got a sanctuary life over here, so I can join the sanctuary and work with them. They offer you the sports center. They just built a stadium like 2 months ago, so you can use intro quotations. Now we cannot use it because of the pandemic situation, but we got a stadium, so you can use the sports center. At the sports center, you can also offer your services, if dancing or doing yoga or whatever, so you can also offer it and get your services there. They offer you food as well. So the students' union know that some of the students are not having a lot of money, so they offer you food for free. Uh, that's pretty much all.
That sounds great.
It is
Thank
great.
you.
It is
Yeah.
it's an amazing place. It is very sweet.
Yeah, I would like to have the opportunity to be there.
Guys, those who are doing this teaching English program, there are many other opportunities that you have to think about that. I've got the chance to travel to England and do my assistantship. I was a Spanish assistant there in England, so you can look for the opportunities the British Council is offering as well as doing teaching assistant. And that's for free. You just go there to work for 8 months. They offer you the opportunity to study and travel all around. So British Council, one of the chances. I know that the government of France is also offering opportunities. So if you speak French, you can also do it with them. And I know the United States in this moment is also offering you. There's one program called the VIF. So you can work for the VIF program as well. So you can study and work. I know some people from the university. I do not know if Pavel is still working at the university, Shirley, is he? Professor Pavel?
Excuse me, my microphone was muted. No. He's not a professor for Pontificia Bolivariana anymore.
Okay, but we got a professor who used to work for Bolivariana and he was at a VIF employee because actually you go in as a teacher. So there's plenty of opportunities for language teachers. Plenty. You have to look for them. So Australia is not a unique country. You can come and do it. And for those who are teaching Spanish, even those who are working for Fabian, I remember his name now, as a journalist, there's plenty of opportunities in Asian countries. Like teaching Spanish is definitely something very famous there. So China is looking for a lot of English and Spanish teachers. They pay well. If you would like to go to China, so that's a nice chance.
Okay,
And,
cool.
and the problem with journalism is like, China is quite.
Yeah, not very democratic.
Yes, that's it. But that is a chance to study and learn Chinese, which is going to be probably the language that's going to rule the world in a few years. Japan is also offering a lot of scholarships, so you can apply for that. You need to know a bit of Japanese, but they are looking forward to receive students, and it is an amazing country. I would definitely advise just to do it. Something really nice about traveling to Australia or nearby countries is that the possibility to travel to other countries is really good and extremely cheap. It's cheaper traveling to, I don't know, Thailand than traveling to the other corner of the country. So it's good. It's a good chance, please.
That's great. Juan Diego, I have a couple of questions from students.
Yeah. Just a second, Shirley. For
Okay,
those who are doing engineering, if we got any engineer around, please apply for this type of universities because they've got loads of resources and loads of opportunities. One of my best friends here, one of them I met here, is Jose. Jose is another guy from Bucaramanga, Wales University, and he was doing his chemist from West, and then he's doing his program here in nanotechnology, and he just won the scholarship for doing his PhD. So there's plenty of opportunities for those who are doing engineering here. Shirley, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm sorry to have interrupted you.
Right.
It's a question from Diego, and it's just this one. How was your experience when you arrived in Australia? How long did it take you to adjust? How was everything? He said, I'm connected from my computer and the microphone doesn't work well. when I speak it here slow. So I'm interested in
What
knowing
was the
about
question again, Shirley, please?
well, in fact, there are 3 questions, but everything related to like getting to adapt to Australia. How was your experience when you arrived there, and how long did it take you to adjust, like to adapt to that new background?
Diego, this is not my first time traveling, so I love traveling. One of my passions is traveling. So I have had the opportunity to live in different countries, and this is my 4th country living out of Colombia. But I've been traveling to some other countries. I've been visiting them. But telling you about my experience, it was kind of nice and not nice for some other people, but it's just an experience. I just got here to this country on the 28th of July, 2018, midnight. So I didn't know what to do. So I opened the package I received from the university and just got a phone. So I managed to make the phone call, and I called the university security, and they said, I'm here. I just arrived. What should I do? And they say, just hold on a second. They call a taxi driver that I got for free. So they picked me up at the airport and they took me to accommodation services at the university. I am living in the university campus. So they sent me here. I talked to the security guy. They say, it's too late. I can offer you anything right now, but I'm going to take you to your flat. And then they just gave me a blanket. Take this blanket for today. Tomorrow you can go to buy your stuff. The next day I just got a call to my place. And they say, are you ready? We can show you around. And they just showed me around with security. And that was the first day arriving. So it was amazing because everybody was nice, friendly, kind, sweet. They were not Australians. Actually, one was Australian, very Aussie, and the other one was a guy from India. And then I've been having lots of these guys because the campus is big, so you can call security. And as I was working for the university, I know all of the guys. So they say something here that you are very tired at the university and it is midnight and you don't want to walk to your place. You call security. Security picks you up and takes you to your place for free. Around the university, we've got a bus. The bus is for free, so you don't have to pay anything. So getting adapted here is just having fun with what life is offering you. So if you want to discover what it's about music, you go to one of those bars and listen to people playing. If you want to enjoy food, you just go to different restaurants to enjoy food. I mean, adapting is just having an open mind to everything. Nobody's going to attack you. Into quotations, of course, there's some nasty guys all around, but adaptation is about having fun, definitely. And then you can have a lot of fun here. And there are plenty of Colombians right now, so it's just getting in contact with people and just getting adapted to them.
We have a question related to like the process of getting to adapt to the new culture and like finding opportunities and getting to know people. But I don't know, this has to do with a very common kind of question students have, and it has to do with the opportunity to get a job, to work for the university, or to work somewhere else. How difficult is it to get it, to get an unofficial permission? If you get a job, how much money you can get per hour or per week, in order to get to I don't know, live in a much more comfortable way, like try to live on your own and get certain independence.
Well, the first advice, and a very serious advice, is that if you're traveling out of your home country, try to have at least 4 to 5 months that you can survive on your own. Every single time. I mean, just get some money in your bank account as a backup, always. Right now, many people are suffering some economic constraints, due to this pandemic situation because they are not working, but they spend their money doing something else, so they're having some issues now. But then talking about working, you can work from doing deliveries, Uber Eats. I did Uber Eats, definitely.
Interesting experience.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah,
First time in
definitely.
my life. So I need to get some money, so I started doing Uber Eats. But then to manage to work in this country, depending on the job that you're going to have, they are going to ask you for some certificates and for some permissions. So you have to open the bank account, you have to get your tax file number because you have to pay taxes. And then if you're going to work as an independent person, you have to open your, I forgot the name of that. I'm going to tell you in a second. Then if you're going to work with children, you have to work with your working with children check. You have to have a police check. And that is around $150, all of those papers all together. So that is not that much.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing Uber Eats, I don't know if you've done that before, but you can earn based on the amount of deliveries that you're just doing. I know some people that they can make around $400, $500 a week, but they worked a lot. But there are plenty of opportunities. While you're studying, you can work 20 hours, but during holidays, you can work full time. And the wages are from $20 to $100 an hour. So if you're working with cleaning will be around $20 to $26 an hour. If you're working with construction and you've got some experience in construction, they pay pretty well. So you can earn $50 to $70 an hour. You will notice that in this country, most of the people are not looking forward to doing a postgraduate study, but some certificates. So an English teacher can earn around $30 to $80 an hour, yes. But someone who's doing construction can earn about the same. So they do not judge, they do not fight, but they've got a very similar life condition. So that is really good because they live quite similarly. So the teacher can have a beautiful car, but as well as the guy who's working in construction, and that is not a problem. It's what you decide to do. So you see, it's pretty amazing. Opportunities to work here, there are plenty of opportunities. But I was just telling you before, the friend of a friend is always offering you something. So I have worked with children in after-school hours. So those who are teachers, I've got some teaching experience with kids, can apply for some programs. They're called after-school hours. So you work pretty early in the morning or late in the afternoon for some hours, just taking care of kids. Pretty easy, and they pay around 25 to 30 an hour. And well, cleaning, working. I've got another friend from Colombia, who's working in a karaoke bar, which is very common for Asians, and they love it. They definitely love it. So you just got some rooms, people are asking for the drinks, they deliver the drinks, and they pay you an hour, like 30 an hour. So whatever you want to get a job. It is the way you just aim it and the friends you are making that will offer you those opportunities.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I have a question, but I think Camilo wants to ask that question himself. Camilo, let me turn your microphone on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Hello, go ahead, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
So, hello, my name is Camilo, and I'm also a language teaching program student from the UCC at Bucaramanga. And I'm curious about Australia's society and the academic life there. So, here goes my question, okay? What kind of competencies or an education features in the English language should a university student have to succeed on Australia?
Well, Camilla, there's not such a way of saying the Australian culture. There is, as Professor Shile called it before, subcultures in Taiwan called the idea of culture. You know that Australia is part of the Commonwealth, but they are not English per se. They are Aussies, and inside Australia, and then we've got those communities that moved during the war to Australia. So we've got huge communities from West. So there's a huge impact of Greek communities, French communities, and Italians. So you probably meet people calling like Kelly Stallone, something like that, just to say whatever. Yeah, you see. So there's plenty of people just merging here. So, and those people have been merging with some other cultures. So you see a guy from Australia that could be white, blue eyes, and things like that. But that guy is he's originally from Macedonia, who's getting married to a girl who was like third generation Thailand. But then they identify themselves as Thai, but at the same time as Australians. So when they merge together, there's a blending of many things. So I would believe there's not that idea of the Aussie, but plenty of sub-communities inside the Aussie culture. You will see some Aussies as well, and they've got a different way of speaking English, but they're sweet. They're different. So the culture is a mixture of cultures. As you have read David Crystal, there's not English but world Englishes. It happens here the same. There's not the Aussie culture but Aussie cultures. That everybody's been established in those. So depending on where you move in, how you move in, and who you're interacting with, you would learn different stuff. It's like when you're talking to someone from southeast of the continent in Asia, people from India, Pakistan, things like that. When they are attending to your voices, they move their head like saying no. So you don't know if they are following you or they are saying no, but that's the way they move their head to say that they are following your conversation. Sometimes when they say yes, is that they are saying no. So you would just get adapted to many things depending on who you're interacting with and what cultures you like to interact with. I've got lots of friends from India, lots of them, and depending on which part of the country they are from, so you start interacting with them and adapting new things. I love eating meat, but most of my friends are veggies. So now I'm kind of veggie. But I love it. So it's good. And it's another way of, as what Sheila was saying before, knowing the world. Because traveling to Australia is not knowing Australia, but knowing the world. And then talking about the academic system, but my teachers were not just teachers, they were professors. And all of them are having PhD titles, and they are very well contact, and the university offers them a lot of possibilities to do research, and they offer them mobilities and things like that. Some of them are very strict. Some of them are very flexible. My supervisor was very, very, very strict. And I was almost suffering and crying a river into quotations again. But I love it. That's the way I am. And Professor Monica and Professor Shirley would know about that. I'm not a piece of pie. I'm kind of strict as well. That's the thing. But I like it and I love it like that. So professors are amazing, and when they become professors, because they've got a long line to become a professor, they are really good. They are adults, very smart adults. So they got lots of books published and articles, and they've got such a huge experience, and they are interacting with people all around the world. So one of my Professor Howard, was just an advisor of the Thai government. So he was just working a lot on improving Thai community based on learning language. So he was also traveling to England to manage to spend some money, and getting some money from Australia to travel to manage to do things in Thai. So it is great.
Well,
It
that's
is.
quite interesting. Sorry.
Yes, it is. And you know what's more interesting about that, about language teachers, is that they've got a community here. That is something that we've got to learn. And when I'm talking about a community, is that they do not gossip against the other teachers. So let's say something very naive, something stupid, and let's say that I want to know if eating obleas in Florida Blanca improves English speaking. They support that project because they think there's not stupid ideas. Stupid is not doing things. So you see, it is something amazing. Of course, because they are not judging you. They judge you. They assess you, but they are not criticizing in terms of just working on the critique, but supporting you in how you do it. And that's the way to create community, something that we've got to learn. Because unfortunately, in Colombia, we just want to criticize just because. So we have to learn how to support things.
So that has to do with teacher development and teacher engagement.
Yes, but it has to do as well with changing our perspectives of life. Like there's no stupid idea. There's stupid would be not doing it. One of well, when you studied at the university, you've got your teacher, the subject, but the teacher can have some interns from the PhD program. So you've got some PhD students working with them and teaching you. One of my PhD students working as a teacher, she was working on improving English interactions based on asking food on cafeterias. So, and that was a PhD proposal. It's like,
unbelievable.
Yes, for us it is unbelievable, but for them, they managed to do it. And people are not just criticizing because of that; they're just supporting. English teachers got a very strong community work here. There's a webpage called Teachers Pay Teachers.
Yeah.
So if you manage to design an activity for your class and you think that is good, you send it to that webpage and then you sell it to teachers. So teachers are supporting other teachers. Unfortunately, in Colombia, we buy things from English paid teachers instead of buying things from teachers in Colombia, you see? So that's an idea of working based on community work. Then I'm sure we can do it. Colombian people are very loved here because they are very strong, hard workers, and smart people. We are very smart, so we are quite welcome here. Still.
Yeah. Let's see if that continues to be like that.
Well,
I hope so.
Yes, because most of the people that move into Australia is because they want to do it well and they want to study and they want to have an experience, not to be dodgy, not to be as part in the education system. So we are still very welcome in this country, and they know that we like to do what we like to do. So we are more than welcome at this moment.
Thank you very much. Juan Diego, I wonder if it's possible to answer a couple of questions that are there waiting for us, for you. But
Good.
that depends on your time. You know, I
No,
don't
no
know if you have
worries.
certain time constraints.
No, that's all right. Ask me.
Is it okay? Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
perfect.
So, Lisette, are you there, Lisette? Lisette Paola? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Lisette? Hello?
Hello, Professor.
Ah, yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. Okay.
Hi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am a student of USSA. My name is Lizeth Paula Medina Sierra. My professor is Monica Pavon. I have a question. Okay. What requirements do I have to participate in this program? In my case, I have a 5-year-old daughter. Is there any impediment?
No, there's no inconvenience because of that. The family is living here on campus, so that's not a problem. The problem would be money. If you got the money, or if you got the sponsorship, or if you got the scholarship, you put on the name of your daughter, and then you come with your daughter or with your family. You have to apply with when you have to apply. I was just telling a few minutes ago that I've got some friends who came from Colombia. They are from Bogota. She used to study at Melbourne University, but he is not studying. But they came together as a couple. So he's using the partner visa. So there's different type of visas in this country and all of those countries around the world. So you got like student visa, working visa, partner visa, family visa, and all those things like that. Depending on the amount of people, there's going to be money and things like. Just to give you an idea, if I'm here with my partner, she will be covered by my visa, but then I have to pay the insurance for the two of us. And then the insurance for the two of us and upon a visa would cost you and only you around 3,000 Australian dollars a year. So those are the things that you have to look for. What sort of visa do you want to apply? And if you're living in the country with your daughter, you know that in Colombia we've got some other rules. Then you have to ask for permission, the father ought to sign out the form and things like that. But that is not a problem. I've been telling you here, we've got families on campus. And in this university, there's like a kind of kindergarten for students. So you've got a discount for them.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
So let me check. Nancy, maybe Monica, have you got any other questions? In the meantime, you know, I'm checking the chat box in order to make sure there are no questions there waiting for an answer.
Maybe what kind of advice would you give to the students that are finishing undergraduate programs and they want to do the master's degree?
Well, the advices are quite simple. First, look for the university in which you want to study. Second, look for the scholarships we got in Colombia. Firstly, very important. Most of the times when you do your master here, and then you all got your doctorate studied here as well, the pre-requirements or the requirements that you got in Colombia got paused until you finish your PhD studies. So that won't be a problem. Second advice, get your IELTS prepared. The more you get on your IELTS, the better it would be for you. Depending on certain programs, they would ask you for certain results. So 7 up on your IELTS. And then remember the IELTS expires, so you should get it like right for the right time you need it. Save some money. Always get some money in your bank account. Always, always. You never know what's going to happen. I stopped working on the 20th of February because of this pandemic situation. But then I've got some money saved, so that won't be a problem for me. Enjoy the experience. Some people get homesick. As I've been telling you before, I love traveling, so I'm not feeling homesick at all. I miss food. That's what I miss a lot. I got the chance to meet my family in different countries, so I have seen them, and thanks to technology, I see them every single day, so I know they are okay. That's it. That's pretty much all. Have fun, because traveling and living in a foreign countries is having the opportunity to not only discover all the things, but discover yourself, what you like and how you like it. Other ways you can change. As I was just telling you a few minutes ago, I am kind of veggie now. I've got some weeks that I don't eat meat at all, and that's good for me. And probably good for animals and things like that. But it's just a way of rediscovering yourself, and then every single time there's a chance. As Buddhists used to say, every single day you go to bed, you die, and every single day you wake up, you're just reburning again. So have fun. Structure everything you want to. Those who are already having a master program, apply for a PhD. Go straight to it. Try to get contact with some professors where you want to go, so you just get some information in advance. Most of these professors are very kind. They do not levitate like some of the professors in our country, unfortunately. So my supervisor was a postdoctorate professor, a very well-respected professor. And then she said, do not call me Professor whatever, call me by Sue. So she was very nice and very chill, even though she was strict, but very nice. So advice is just design your strategy, plan what you want to do and how you want to do it and where you want to go. Australia is not the unique country that is definitely offering you opportunities. Every single university can offer you world contacts with what they've got in their own international offices. I know UPB is having very good contact, and I know some information about UCC in Medellin. I'm not sure if Professor Jorge is still coordinating that, but they got some contact with some other universities. So manage to get that contact, because then you can save money, time, and they could offer you loads of things. And what I was just telling Fabian before is that the AAD is offering you very good chances to study in Germany. And the system of education in Germany is amazing, and the place is fantastic as well. So the idea is just plan it. Plan what you want to do and how you want to do it. Those who are at portas of getting graduated, do it right now if you want to travel abroad. Because most of teachers ought to have at least a year experience. But then your results at the university are going to be very important. If you're working with the research community and you've got some publication, that is very important as well. That is very meaningful for them. And that's all. Too many advices, but they can work.
Yeah, the more advice is the better. Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. One is from Jamie. Jamie, are you there?
Hello?
Sorry
Hello,
about the
Jamie.
long wait. I'm sorry, Jamie. I had seen, and yeah, I was very attentive to your answer, sorry, to the question, but there are so many people asking me questions and I'm trying to like get things organized, okay? So
Yes,
Jamie, your
don't
turn.
worry.
Sorry about the wait.
Okay, my name is Jamie Vanegas. I'm a student to UCC here in Bucaramanga. A lot of my friends is here to listen that conference. That's very amazing. We as a current teachers, and we know that just as there are advantages to teaching abroad, there are also disadvantages, you know? So speaking a little about the children in Australia, who may now have the necessary recourse to study, what will that advice be for us a teacher if we want to exercise in that place?
Could you repeat the question again? Because we got some issues here.
Okay. Speaking a little about the children in Australia, yeah, who may not have the necessary recourse to study. What would that advice be for us, a teacher, if we want to exercise in the place for our job?
So you're talking about working with children, right?
Yeah. About the economics problems.
But there are different positions here as a teacher. So as the education system was slightly different than education was as well, slightly different on the ways you can work. But if you're coming to this country to manage to work as a teacher and you're going to work with children, you can't just get some, let's say, step-by-step procedures. I started working as well with after school hours care. So after school hours care is like being a teacher while they are not studying, but parents are just to take your children to schools to manage to go to work. Then after that, you can apply for being a classroom supervisor. It's like you observe classes, and if the teacher needs extra help because they've got too many kids, and when I say too many kids, like because they've got like 15 kids in the classroom, public education, which is amazing as well, having 15 kids per class, then you can just help the teacher to manage to do that, to control that. Meanwhile, you can apply to one of those masters, and then if you finish your master, you can apply for a full position here with, I don't know, primary education, high school education. If you manage to get it, there's the opportunity to work with international schools, public schools, or private schools. On international schools, you don't have to do anything with the government, but they pay extremely well, extremely well. If you go to public education, it's like working with public education in the country. They pay you well, yes, very well indeed. And then you work less hours. And then you got the opportunity to work with private education that it is going to be mixed between public and private or things like that, then you can apply that. But then you can only apply it if you got a title. If you're Colombian, if you've got a title of master or a PhD. Not if you got a title from Colombia. They are not accepted here.
Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure. And then, as I told you before, you have to get your working with children check, which is the way in if they check if you've got any issues with children, like if you got any zoo or whatever all around the world, and police check. And you also have to do a first aid course. If you're going to work with kindergarten, you have to do like 3 different levels of first aid courses. If you're working with some other ages, the courses vary. But that's really nice. That's something nice that I forgot telling you that. As I was working with children, I was recommended to take those first aid courses. So now I know things about first aid that I didn't know, that I would never learn that before.
But that's very useful.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You never know when you need that kind of knowledge.
Thank you so
And I'll
much.
to use it later. Cool.
Thank you. I have a final question, perhaps, and it comes from Laura Stupiñán. Laura, we're attentive to you. Hello, hello.
Hi, I'm a student of Monica's student. My question is, are there prohibitions for Colombian students in Australia?
What is that again?
Are there prohibitions for Colombian students in Australia about activities that Colombian students can do it in Australia or something like that?
But it's not only for Colombians, it's for everybody. you cannot do very loud parties. So you cannot play your stereo very loudly because then you can call the police. And police is going to arrest you or give you a fine, and fines are quite expensive. Most of the houses, as they've got quite serious fire issues around, so you cannot smoke inside. So there's some smoking areas in which you can smoke, and only let's say that I'm living in campus. So in the campus, if I smoke here and then the alarms got on, they call the firefighters, and if a firefighter comes here, it costs me around 3,000 Australian dollars just because the car came. So those are not those forbidden things for Colombians, but for everybody. If you are not following the rules, that would be a problem for you. But it's any country, even for Australians. The rest is having fun. As I was telling Professor Monica, it's just good to do. If once you're in Rome, do as Romans do. As a zapatero to zapato.
Yeah, but it's important to learn to be like much more respectful, definitely much more autonomous, because that's the way you can get to like function in another society and in other cultures, which are perhaps sometimes different, so different from yours. So I think that's one of the very first steps, to learn to be responsible, respectful, and like monitor yourself, regulate yourself.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Yeah. So, Juan Diego, I have a question regarding, like the possibility for Monica's learners and our learners to contact you, just in case these time constraints didn't allow them to be heard, to ask those questions, interesting questions I have read so far, answered, from you. Is it possible to share your email?
Definitely.
Okay, I appreciate it. So, everybody, I'm sending you Juan Diego's email via chat. So, in case you want to contact him directly, please go ahead. Yes. Here it goes. Okay. I wonder if you got it. And I wonder if you got the link to fill in the attendance form. It's pretty easy. It takes just a minute. It's important for us to keep a record of how many attendees we have in every single event. Okay. So I don't know, perhaps my peers, Monica, Elsie, Marta, they have certain question to ask, and it's important to give them the chance to participate too before we wrap up.
Just to say, Professor, that I'm very thankful for your time.
Thank you.
It's been very grateful to listen to you again, and especially for my students, it's a motivation.
Lovely. Thank you.
No, Shirley, I think you pretty much touched on everything. We had my inquiries he answered, so thank you very much. And thank you both.
Yeah, many topics, many subjects have been covered, because just one question has been full enough to discuss different ways of thinking, cultures, codes, rules, possibilities, opportunities, growth, personal and professional growth. So it's been amazing.
I would like to say that something that I love from Anglo cultures is not from Australia, but from Anglo cultures, is that they think they are the best. They think it, and they just definitely feel it, right? Most of the times we Colombian people are just on the dark side, and we say, no, we cannot do it. This is too difficult. This is too expensive. I'm not smart enough. This is for other people. Forget it, guys. You have to think in a very positive way and think you can do it. And then definitely you can do it. I've been telling you this is not the best experience. You don't know me. If you know Medellin, I'm coming from one of those ugly neighborhoods that we've got in Medellin.
It's not.
The Villahermosa is one of those neighborhoods that, but then I managed to get to the university, and then I did my specialization, and then I did my master's, and then I traveled to England, and then I traveled to Germany, and then I traveled to the States, and then I traveled to Australia now. And then you would never believe that someone who's coming from public education in Colombia would manage to do that, because I'm coming from a humble family. But right now I know all of the continents, fortunately, because I love traveling. I've been visiting more than 30 countries now. So everything is possible. But start thinking positively and in a strategical way, and then you will manage to do it. That's something we've got to change in our head. There's the twitch on that, and definitely the twitch on trying to work as a community, not only on your own, but work with someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Everything are possible. Está bien escrito, ¿cierto? Todas las cosas son posibles.
Everything is possible. Yeah, you're
Are
right.
possible.
Yeah. In Spanish, we say something like "se vale soñar." Absolutely, I do believe in that. We have to think beyond. Like the traditional boundaries we are sometimes established.
No, everything are possible. Todas las cosas son posibles.
Exactly, I do agree with you. So, well, thank you very much. I am so glad we had about 49 participants.
Él los puso así, everything are possible.
Thanks a lot. So, yeah, thank you for your participation. Of course, Juan Diego, it's been a pleasure. You are one of those true friends who's important, in my life. And, having your support in these kind of activities, it's a pleasure and it's a privilege, because I know how much you have learned, how much you have grown so far. And I know that there are so many things you can share with us as a professor, as a learner, as a man. So it's fantastic. I appreciate your time. Thank you. I know how busy you may be. So we are really grateful. And let's see if we can meet sometime soon. Via WebEx or here in Bucaramanga, Medellin, wherever.
Perfect. We will do it.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody. Monica and her students, our pupils from the university, professors as well. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for devoting some of your time and your agendas to learn something about mobility, experiences, interculturality, and personal growth. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate your interest, and please check the chat box, because I just sent you Juan Diego's email, just in case you want to contact him, and my mail just in case. Okay, so we will be very open to your questions and your requests, and if possible, we will give you the information you require, you're interested in. So it's been a pleasure. Enjoy the evening, Juan Diego. Have a nice Thursday.
Yes, Thursday morning.
Yeah, I know. So thank you. God bless you all. Please take care. Be safe.
Bless you too. Cheers. Professors, have a good one, guys. Have a good day. At night.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Professor.
Pleasure.
Thank you for everything.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.